Here's something that doesn't make sense until you think about it. The guy who fixes your burst pipe at 2 a.m. on a Sunday is probably making more per hour than your family doctor did in their first 5 years out of med school. And he didn't spend $300,000 getting there. But here's what's also true. Most plumbers never see the real money this trade can build. Not because the money isn't there, because nobody showed them what to do with it at every level. Let's fix that. A plumbing apprenticeship through a union program costs you almost nothing out of pocket. The United Association, the main plumbing union in America, runs a 5-year apprenticeship where you earn while you learn from day one. As of 2026, the starting apprentice wage through UA-affiliated programs averages $17 to $21 per hour, depending on your local. In high-cost states like California and Illinois, that starting rate hits $24 to $28 with full benefits on top. Health insurance, pension contributions, the whole package. Non-union entry is different. You're looking at $15 to $18 per hour starting. No benefits, and the training quality varies significantly depending on which contractor takes you on. The gap between union and non-union at the apprentice level isn't just hourly rate. It's the pension contributions accumulating in the background that most 21-year-olds don't think about until they're 45. The certification costs at entry are minimal. Your apprentice registration fee is typically under $200. Compare that to the average college freshman spending $37,000 in their first year for a degree that may or may not lead anywhere specific. The plumber's apprentice is getting paid $17 an hour, while the college freshman is going $37,000 into debt. That math doesn't get talked about enough. Journeyman, where it gets real. 5 years in, you passed your journeyman exam, licensed. This is where plumbing becomes a serious financial conversation. That's $66,851 annually at straight time. But plumbing doesn't run on straight time. Overtime is built into this industry the way tips are built into restaurants. It's not extra, it's expected. A journeyman running consistent overtime, which in plumbing means 50 to 55 hours per week during busy seasons, is looking at $78,000 to $92,000 per year. In union markets like Chicago, San Francisco, and New York, journeyman scale with overtime regularly crosses $110,000. These are not exceptional cases. These are journeymen showing up and doing the work. Here's the thing about journeyman wages that most people outside the trade don't understand. Emergency call rates are separate. When a pipe bursts at a restaurant on a Friday night and the owner needs someone there immediately, the journeyman who answers that call isn't billing $32 an hour. Most contractors bill emergency work at $150 to $200 per hour, and the journeyman's cut of that is meaningfully higher than their base rate. The plumbers who build savings fastest at this level are usually the ones willing to be the person who answers that Friday night call. Take home on $85,000 in Texas after federal and state taxes is approximately $5,400 per month. A journeyman keeping fixed expenses at $3,200, rent, car, food, utilities, has $2,200 per month moving somewhere. Most don't save it. The ones who do are the ones who appear at the next level. Master license, the gate nobody wants to walk through. This is the most financially important decision in a plumber's career and the one most journeymen delay for reasons that don't hold up financially. The master plumber exam requirements vary by state, but the general path is 2 years of journeyman experience plus the exam. The exam fee itself is $200 to $400. A prep course, if you use one, runs $400 to $800. Total investment, under $1,200 in almost every state. What the master license unlocks is significant. As a master plumber employee, your hourly rate jumps to $42 to $65 per hour in most markets. In commercial and industrial work, hospitals, data centers, industrial facilities, master plumber rates hit $75 to $95 per hour. Annual earnings for a working master plumber employee in 2026 run from $87,000 to $145,000 depending on the market and specialty.
More importantly, the master license is the legal requirement to pull permits and operate your own plumbing business in 49 states. Without it, you are permanently working for someone else. Every year a journeyman delays getting their master license is a year they push back their own business timeline by 12 months. The plumbers who resent working for others the most are often the ones who waited the longest to get the license that would have let them stop.
Going independent, the real math. This is where plumbing's financial story gets complicated, and where most people who dream about going independent get surprised by the actual numbers. Service call rates for a licensed master plumber running their own operation in 2026 average $95 to $175 per hour, depending on the region. Emergency rates run $200 to $275. On paper, billing $130 per hour sounds like life-changing money. Here's what actually happens to that $130. Liability insurance for a solo plumbing operation runs $6,000 to $11,000 per year in 2026, up significantly from pre-2023 levels due to insurance market changes. A reliable work van costs $700 to $1,400 per month in payments, plus $400 to $600 per month in fuel, insurance, and maintenance. Tools, equipment, and replacement costs run $8,000 to $14,000 annually for someone doing real volume, 3% off the top before you calculate income tax. A solo operator billing $130 per hour at 28 billable hours per week, realistic when you account for driving, estimates, invoicing, and materials runs, generates roughly $189,000 in annual revenue. After insurance, vehicle costs, tools, materials, and self-employment taxes, net income lands between $82,000 and $115,000. Better than employee wages. But the business doesn't earn when you don't work. Vacation, illness, injury, the meter stops. That reality catches a lot of newly independent plumbers off guard in their first year. The ones who survived the first 2 years of independence almost always did one specific thing right. They kept their personal monthly expenses at journeyman levels, while the business was generating master plumber money. The gap between what they earned and what they spent built the buffer that kept them operating when a slow month hit. Building a company, when the money actually scales. 2 trucks, 3 trucks, 5 trucks. This is the level where plumbing stops being a trade and becomes an asset. A 2-truck operation with 2 journeymen working under your master license generates roughly $380,000 to $520,000 in annual revenue, depending on the market and service mix. Owner profit on a well-run 2-truck operation, after paying your plumbers, covering vehicle costs, insurance, and overhead, that's $68,000 to $135,000 in profit while your crew does the physical work. The business model math changes completely at this level. Your income is no longer capped by your hours. It scales with the systems you build and the people you hire and keep. Plumbing businesses are also actively being acquired right now. Private equity has moved aggressively into home services since 2022, and plumbing is one of the primary targets. $5 million in annual revenue, documented systems, and consistent Google reviews is valued at 3 to 5 times EBITDA in the current acquisition market. That's a business worth $900,000 to $2.8 million to the right buyer, built from a $200 exam fee and 5 years of showing up. The plumber who starts at $18 an hour at 22, gets the master license at 28, goes independent at 30, builds a 2-truck operation by 35, and sells at 45? That's not a fantasy. That's a documented pattern playing out across the trades right now, while most people are still debating whether college was worth it.